Greetings, fellow mortals. There are some days where I randomly look through Netflix to see what the newest shows to come out are. I saw that Kung Fu Panda The Dragon Knight was recently released. When I saw the trailer, I had flashbacks to the three movies. I love those films. I thought that they were some of the best animated family movies that I had ever seen. And if my memory serves right, there was also a straight-to-movie DVD, a Christmas special, and a Nickelodeon TV series as well. But I don't really remember those all that well from my childhood. I do, however, remember the movies in extreme detail, and I remember how impressed I am by them to this day. Let me start off by telling you about one of my most heartfelt beliefs about storytelling. Any concept can work. I'm not saying that any concept can be a masterpiece. That's close to impossible. But you can make a good story out of any idea. The problem is that the writing needs to push the concept outside of the realm to mediocrity into something better. If something has terrible writing, then even the greatest ideas will crumble. Plan, write, rewrite, edit. Do all of those four things well and approach the topic with love, and the story tends to work itself out, especially if you're open to criticism. That's where Kung Fu Panda comes into play. Let's do a thought experiment, shall we? I want you to throw away everything you know about Kung Fu Panda. Imagine the idea being pitched to you without knowing how good the movies are. A fat panda turns out to be the chosen one and has to train Kung Fu to save the world. It sounds ludicrous. At most, you could get a generic bland comedy out of it. I bet that you wouldn't go into the movie expecting anything but the bare minimum, especially when half of the characters are named after the animal that they represent. But then you go to see Kung Fu Panda. It's a movie with genuine heart behind it. I find the humor to hit rather well throughout the film too. By seemingly pure luck, the main character, Po, falls down from the heavens in a firework explosion to get chosen as the Dragon Warrior. Everyone argues that it was an accident, but Master Oogway declares that there are no accidents. In order to stop the evil Tai Lung, almost every character needs to overcome their preconceptions about themselves, the people around them, and the state of the world. Shifu and Po grow as teacher and student, and they unlock Po's true potential. When I first saw Kung Fu Panda, I scoffed at how useless they made Po at the start. Even if he was a panda, he was still a bear. I know bears. I have seen bears. They're close to unstoppable walls of muscle and fur. If you get in their way, you're dead. Sometimes even firearms won't help you against him, unless you're a top-level shot that can handle pressure. Of course, later in life I realized that pandas are actually round, fluffy goofballs that do roll around all the time. I see videos of them and wonder how they're related to black bears, brown bears, or polar bears. I fail to understand how they even survive at times. So the movie ends up reflecting pandas very well, actually, and Po never becomes like the other martial arts masters. No matter how skilled he gets, he does not gain the maneuverability of the other fighters. But that's fine. The movie makes it clear that he doesn't need to be like other people. Instead of trying to be like others, he needs to be the best version of himself possible. That is made clear through the use of the Dragon Scroll. Po doesn't need any special outside power to make himself great. All he needs is to believe in himself, have some guidance, and work hard. Looking back at Kung Fu Panda, I feel impressed with everything about the movie. The animation has aged very well. Some of the characters are slightly one note, but they still stand out. The voice actors breathe life into their characters, especially Jack Black with Po. The creators respected the martial arts behind the movie. They did their best to emphasize how each fighting style is different. They also respected the culture behind the martial arts. Everything fits together well. There was a lot of love put into this series. Of course, I could be a bit biased when it comes to this one. I have trained in self-defense since I was a kid. I always had a fondness for karate and kung fu stories, especially ones that exist in the mainstream. I love anything that shows the beauty behind the martial arts. Also, I remember seeing the movie in theaters with my dad when I was a kid. The thing that always stood out the most with me was that he joked that he expected me to be able to pull off Tai Lung's jail escape by the time that I finished training. His comment makes me smile and laugh to this day. Is Kung Fu Panda perfect? Well, no, but no movie is perfect. I think that it's the perfect family movie, but it's not the end-all be-all for every movie. In fact, I don't think it's the end-all be-all for animated movies. My favorite animated movie of all time is Spirited Away, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy both films. If I criticize Kung Fu Panda, it would have to be some of the smallest nitpicks possible. Most of them would have to do with naming issues. Tigress, mantis, monkey, not exactly original, but that's about it. In a lot of ways, I compare Kung Fu Panda to Avatar: The Last Airbender. While the first part was good, it was the two parts that came after the start which pushed it into new levels of greatness. Avatar Season 2 and 3 can only be as good as they are because they came after Season 1. That start for the series built the foundation. I can say the same thing for Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3. They leap off of the original into something phenomenal. And that's because the creators took Kung Fu Panda and made it the best version of itself possible. The movie lives and breathes its own message. I can imagine an alternate version of this film that's a giant mess. The creators didn't have to work that hard for this. People would have gone to see the film no matter what happened. It would have made money, but they put in the time, the effort, and the love to make something exceptional. Maybe that's some modern day bias on my part, I don't know. I'm so used to these large studio creations being low effort affairs. Imagine a version of Kung Fu Panda with random modern day pop songs, outdated references, and a dance party at the end. You know that it could have very well ended up just like that. It would have been like the Emoji Movie. Yeah, I bet you haven't thought about that film in a long time. Here's my hot take about it. Emoji Movie could have actually worked. In fact, I think that it could have been great, because any concept can work. Someone just has to approach it from the right angle, with the right level of writing ability, and with the right amount of love for the art that's being created. And that's what Kung Fu Panda did. The creators brought a level of passion and respect needed to make a great story. It makes me sad when I hear a concept for a story and I just groan out of instinct. Deep down, I tend to know if something is going to work or not. With most stories, I know that it won't be flushed out well, whether it be in books, games, shows, or movies. It's rare that I go into experience and be pleasantly surprised. The last one that I can remember is Arcane, and that was close to a year ago. I'd love to be blown away again by something like Arcane or Kung Fu Panda. Here's hoping. I know that it's possible. Writers just need to put in the work. And, to be fair, companies need to get out of the way. It's a rare day where corporate interference makes things better. So until the day that I'm pleasantly surprised again, I'll just cherish what I have now. And maybe I'll go and watch that new Kung Fu Panda show. Who knows, it could be something good, I don't know. It can't be as bad as some of the other stuff that's coming out nowadays. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my takes on storytelling, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It would really help me out. Also remember that I will be self-publishing my novel, Dance of Frozen Death, at the start of 2023. I hope that you will check it out. I appreciate you. Do not despair.